Hi, my name is Jarkko Moilanen, and this session begins our data economy coffee breaks for this week. And I will give you a short presentation about data economy as kind of a crash course. And then starting tomorrow and 4 days after that, we have our female success stories told by Marjukka Niinioja, Tekla Vannas, Esra Aliu, and Nazia Hassan. So tomorrow forward, you will actually get the beef. Today's session is just giving you an idea about what is data economy and possibly give you some insights and ideas for the future sessions. And if you haven't registered for the sessions yet, go to dataproductbusiness.com/datacoffeebreaks, and you can just easily sign to each sessions with one input only. And keep in mind that we are also creating a shareable booklet about the success stories of the female. That is under work at the moment, but it will be shared in a week or two. This session is created by Data Product Business, and it's funded partially by FUG Association. So without any delay, data economy, the question, what is data economy? Basically, all the success stories are coming from the data economy side. So let's discuss a little bit that what is the context of these coming sessions. My background for the past 4 or 5 years, I've been in the data economy and in various roles, developing tools for business people to actually design data products. I am still the country chief data officer ambassador for Finland, for example. I have also written a book recently together with a couple of colleagues, and the name of the book is Deliver Value in the Data Economy. So my focus comes from the two words, so deliver value. That's what I'm always looking at on the business side and also on the data economy side. And each of the registered participants of these coffee break sessions is gonna get a free digital copy of the book. So look at your email. You will get a link in there, and then you can download the copy. So I do know something about data economy, but I'm still learning all the time, and also hoping to learn from the female success stories that I will be hearing later this week. So data economy, why should I be interested about it at all? Forbes and Economist, the quite famous economical publications are telling us that the data is the most valuable asset, basically for every company, and it's a key digital economy input, and its use is growing rapidly. And alone in the EU level, it is estimated that 2025 the market size is 550 billion. So it's nothing small. And you should be interested about it anyway. Because, for example, in the EU level, we have the Data Act and Data Governance Act, which are part of the regulation that are defining the boundaries for businesses that actually do something with data. And basically, as it was stated, basically everything in the business will be somehow data related in the future. So take it into account and follow the news, for at least for the European level news, to see what is actually going to happen pretty fast. So data economy, we can define, there's lots of definitions for it, but in my mind, the most important thing is that data economy is about deriving value from the accumulated information. Just bluntly and briefly, it's a lot of other things. You do need to have data exchange. You need to productize data. You have ecosystems and everything else. But yes, it should be about deriving value from the data that you collect and disseminate and refine and whatever. So, but what has happened recently during the couple of years is that the idea of approaching your data with a product mindset has come up. So basically, data should not be anymore considered only from technical perspective. That has been the data management side. So it's quite technical, and it's not. It's just bits and bytes. But now, for example, the Harvard Business Review wrote an article a couple of years ago, 2020, that in the title it says that approach your data with a product mindset. And those people who are active in the data management field, you probably have found out or heard about the data mesh concept. And one of the pillars, one of the 4 pillars of it is data product. So it is becoming something fundamental element of the data economy. But keep in mind that it's the Harvard Business Review, for example, it doesn't say that everything is a product. It says product mindset, and that's a different thing, basically. We will come back to that a bit later. So I also kind of fell in love with the idea of productizing data already some years ago. And 2019, I started to develop Toolkit for business people to actually define, in following the lean principles and everything else, modern way of doing product development, but now around data products. So business people didn't have any way to actually approach that. How do I productize the data? Do you have any tools, any kind of, at least some kind of canvases or some kind of processes to follow? But there wasn't anything. So that's why I actually started to develop the data product Toolkit, and now it's in the version 2, and it contains now 5 canvases, and we're now actually building a SaaS application out of the canvases. So eventually you will be using only online tools, and it helps you to design data product in less than 60 minutes, and you can even test that data product with your customers. And after that test, you have a product market fit, and then you actually implement it, not sooner or later. But it helps you. It helps already the business people to design the products. So that was the background, and then if you look at the surrounding community and the business environments around us, and how the society is working now, you can see that the data, services are basically eating the products. So we all know that, well, the older generation of us actually knew the DVDs, and we purchased DVDs, and then suddenly we were just watching movies into Netflix and Disney Plus and so on. But still, the product didn't go anywhere. The movies are still productized, created, produced, but the channel is different now. So it's not the physical good anymore; it's the service. The same has happened in basically jet engines, and Rolls-Royce used to only sell jet engines for plane manufacturers, and that was it. Then they probably added a little more service on it, and then later on they actually started to sell flight hours. So it's completely service, but the product is still there. So you're wrapping the service around it, basically. Same with the trucks and buses. So MAN has this truck use as a service concept. So, but still, even if it is as a service, you still have the trucks. You need to build those and so on. And data is not going to be any different. So we do have the data sets. You can all these old-fashioned CSV files, for example, and those are refined to something else. Those might be stored differently in a database or something else. But anyway, you have the data productizement still going on that has been there for a while already. But now the channel is going to be different. You're not selling the CSV file, but you're actually selling access to it. So it's the data as a service that's actually coming now heavily. There are situations when the pure product approach actually makes more sense, at least when the data set it's huge. So it doesn't make any sense to actually provide it via an API or something like that. But for example, if the value of the data goes away, reduces quite fastly, and it's just a small glimpse of kilobytes or something like that, then it actually makes sense to have a real-time data flows. And still we have a data product, but it's a data flow accessed via an API. So there is the product mindset still behind the services, and some use the term servitization to differentiate the things, but basically it's pretty much the same. Then it's all about the data value chain. So this is one view, one approach to it, and this was identified while I was consulting companies developing data products. And there's always the problem. The customer with the problem is the starting point. Then you look at it from a business design perspective, from business side, ethical side, legal side, technical side, and then you as easily and with minimum cost, you actually make some kind of mock-ups out of the product, and then you actually ask the customer, is it good enough or not? So you're looking for the product market fit somehow. Mocking is the most obvious way to do it. Then when you have the product market fit, then you can actually make a decision to actually produce it and make it real, and then you actually deploy the product somewhere, the data product or data as a service, and then that's not even enough. You need to publish it to some kind of marketplaces or catalogs for customers to actually discover it. So, and then the actual value creation starts when the customer is using the data somehow to create new insights or something like that. Or then your data commodity might be a service which is used by the customers, and you're providing ready-made insights from a bigger pool of data. So there are different versions of products and services that you can sell to customers, but still the value chain is pretty much always the same when you're looking at the development point of view. If you look at the bigger landscape of data economy, I have found out from working with the customers that they are actually and analyzing also around 200 academic articles and read a couple of books about the data economy as well. So there are 3 layers. You have the internal layer, you have the closed ecosystem / partner layer, and you have the public offering layer. So basically the data marketplaces and so on. So starting from the bottom, every company wanting to operate in the data economy must build a solid foundation before ascending towards the top. And note that not all companies actually need to go all the way up. It all depends from your company's business needs and business strategy, that how far you need to go up the ladder. So it's not always taking that you actually go for the public data marketplaces with your offering. But internally, it is mostly about productizing your data, and the intention is to actually maximize speed and maximize data reuse and flow. And for that purpose, you need to have certain elements. I will not go into that, how you actually do it, but you need to have confident staff with skills. So you probably want to have a data literacy program and everything else. And then you need the technology, and then you need the business skills as well. So what are you going to do with the data, basically? Well, if you jump into the middle layer, closed data ecosystem layer or partner level, so in that level, you're productizing and servitizing your data, depending of the case, basically. And why I use the term closed data ecosystems is that companies seem to want to now collect an ecosystem around a shared problem, and then solve it together, but still in a way that not everyone is accessing your data. Only a certain amount of companies that you are driving towards a shared business goals are accessing your data. So it's kind of a partner level thing. Then the final layer is basically when you're actually going to the data marketplaces, and there mostly it is about servitizing your data to maximize sales and customer value. but also the data products are there available, as we will see a bit later. 3 layers: internal, get everything ready, get your own staff ready, get your own staff confident with the data, and then go to the next level, which is the secured closed ecosystem level. And then the final is that you actually offer your services and the products in the data marketplaces. All right, if we look at the middle layer, so the data, where the ecosystem layer, closed data ecosystems, there are some players now coming with solutions. For example, the Platform Trust, which provides a data exchange as a service platform. So basically, they are taking the source data, whatever you have, they provide and develop the data models and do transformations and ensure interoperability and so on. And as a result, you get data products, and you can use that wherever you want. The customer can actually use it wherever they want. And in that sense, it kind of stops. This picture at least stops where the real value creation actually will happen. There are some value also in productizing the data. It is making easier to actually build the customer value adding services on top of the data. But still, in my world, data value creation, this is kind of a halfway built solution. It's a good start, and probably now needed for a lot of companies to actually enter the middle layer of the data economy. Well, I mentioned that the data marketplaces is the final, the most public level of data economy. And here are some numbers from data marketplaces some months back. And I took the Amazon data marketplace, which is basically filled with data sets, these legacy data products, and only a couple of products with the API access, and then some data products are accessed with the platform provided interfaces. And the Snowflake, most of you might know, if you don't, take a look at it. It's a quite commonly used, huge and effective, powerful data platform. And they have a marketplace as well. And it is mostly about sharing data inside any kind of ecosystems that are heavily utilizing Snowflake. And this is visible that in their marketplace, the data products are accessed with the platform provided interfaces. Not, for example, those are not data sets as it is as per se, like in the data in the Amazon data marketplace, which is basically S3 bucket driven solution. So these are a bit different and for different purposes, and certain clients are going to be in the Snowflake, certain clients in the in the Amazon data marketplace. So as a data product owner, data service owner, you need to think about where your customers are, and then you need to publish in those platforms, in those marketplaces. So it's not always given that you actually, it always makes sense to go to even the Snowflake marketplace. Depends on your business needs and your strategy. The third one is a distributed version of data marketplace. The two above, Amazon and Snowflake, are centralized solutions, whereas the Ocean Protocol Marketplace version 3 is completely distributed. So, and it is there's heavy amount of data sets, kind of legacy data products, but also algorithms are on this platform marketplace. So something that sits on top of the data and does their magic, or jumps into the data, does their magic, and pulls information out of the data. So these are kind of pure software solutions, and I see those as a services, not products itself. But all right, this data marketplaces are still coming, and it's not the data economy is not ripe enough for this layer yet. So it's still evolving and growing, and mostly because companies are not yet ready to enter the public marketplaces. They lack business skills. They have poor data literacy skills inside their company. They need more models, tools, and processes to actually do anything with the data. So there's a lot of things to develop internally before we can see the real public layers of the data economy. But it's going to happen anyway. So if you want to dig deeper, there's resources for you to use. As I mentioned, the book, Deliver Value in the Data Economy, and you will get your copy. What's your email? And there's also more material in the dataproductbusiness.com. There's a research section where we also keep a list of great academic articles about data economy, and a bigger list of good sources. Well, I think at the moment there's 80 articles that we list there directly for you to use and get familiar if you want to dig deeper. But if you want to take a shortcut, then you just read the book, because behind the ideas and concepts in the book, we have read the articles and derived concepts from there to the book itself. And as I mentioned in the beginning, the most important part of the data economy coffee breaks is going to start tomorrow. And every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 2 p.m., you will hear a 30-minute long story from one of these ladies that every one of them I know thoroughly, and I have had the pleasure to actually work with them. And the intention is that these stories will actually make it more attractive for other women to actually enter data economy, and thus make it more beneficial and even fun for everyone else. So that's basically it for today, and hope to see you tomorrow when Marjukka Niinioja actually starts telling the first female success story of the data economy.